Hi, Tony here at Views from the Man Cave, and today I'm going to be taking a look at perhaps a different way to clean your motorcycle. Now this video has come about because I had a few people comment on the videos on the channel and via the social media asking me to do a video to show how I wash and detail my Street Twin. Now initially I thought this might be quite a dull video. I don't think there's that much to cleaning a bike. Generally I hose it down, I wash it with a furry mitt, get that soap it down, rinse it off, leather it off, end of story. Then I thought, okay, maybe I could do a fun video with girls in bikinis and soap suds and slow-mo. Couldn't find anybody to sign up for that, but there is an alternative. This is an option. I've been looking around, reading on forums, and I'd come across Vulcanet, and so I thought I'd give it a try. And this is essentially a cleaning wipe that replaces soap and water. Here is the tub. In the top now, I've already opened this, there's foil sealed, you unpull, and there you can see the wipes. They're like a perforated wipes, and you can smell them, smell like a kind of an alcohol wipe. You've got a little section there at the top which has your Vulkanet wipe in there, and it's a terry toweling on one side, slightly more fluffy on the other side. This little red disc is used just to sit in the top there to keep the moisture within those wipes, to stop those drying out. And then when you're using them, just poke one of those through the top there and you can pull that out, tear it off. So it's a fairly big, sizable, heavy pack. Not necessarily ideal for taking away with your travelling. So if you're going to a show or a bike meet or something, you want to give your bike a wipe over when you get there, this is going to take up a lot of room and be relatively heavy. But having looked on the website, they do a travel pack, so they do a smaller version that you can tuck away in your pocket, rucksack or pannier, and then use that when you get to your location. Now these wipes can be used on pretty much everything on the bike, paintwork, vinyl seat, engine, exhaust, the whole lot. So I'm not going to make this a really long video and bore you by going through every single part, but I'm going to show you how they work on the tank, the engine, on the exhaust, on the wheels, and also some of the problematical areas that you get, particularly with the Street Twin, one of which is the front rubber gaiters. Now I have a problem with this. I don't know if it's been fixed. I had one of the very early bikes, but they discolour and go kind of a reddy sort of colour. So we're going to see how these wipes deal with those as well. Now I've ridden my Street Twin a few hundred miles since the last time it was cleaned, and I've left it purposely just so it gets some road grime, flies and the sort of crap that you get on your bike from everyday riding. So that'll give us an idea of how well these work. So they have torn off one of the wipes. That's the size of the wipe. You say it's got a perforated finish and it is quite moist, but with this it is just a case of you don't have to push hard, just a little gentle wipe, get it all over. I'm going to do the tank pads as well. There we go, all over the tank. You can see that it leaves like a little bit of a wet sheen. Now you can see the dirt that's on there, but as long as this remains wet or damp, you can continue to use it. And then once you've given that a wipe, just give that a second, you've got your toweling cloth. Just give it a wipe over. And there you go, there's the tank done. Got a really nice finish to it, a good sheen, nice and shiny and smooth. That seems to have worked pretty well. Okay, we're down onto the engine casing and the side panels. I'm still using the same cloth. And then some more of the engine casing. You can see it leaves a shine, but what I like about this cloth is it makes it easier to get into all of these little nooks and crannies. Now I'm doing this quick, you would spend a little bit more time obviously. And then boom, with your cloth, wipe off all those bits and you get a nice finish. Not too shiny, it doesn't make it go all horrible and shiny like some of those silicone wipes that you see people using. That's come up nicely. The same here, you've got rid of all the gunge and crap. Okay, so this is one of the parts I mentioned earlier. I don't know if this has been resolved now, but from the earlier models of these, you can see it probably worse on this one, hard to capture, but you get a kind of a red coating that comes out of these rubbers as they age and they get in the sun. I'm still using that same first cloth. I haven't changed that, it's still damp. So I'm just going to give that a wipe down, give it a zhuzh around. Zhuzh, by the way, is a technical term used when cleaning with these wipes. They are made in France, so I guess zhuzh is probably quite a good word. So straight away you can see that there's an improvement. Just wipe it down and boom, there we go, it's dealt with those. Still with the same cloth, I'm going to do that mud guard because that's a little bit grubby, and I'm going to have a crack at these fork legs as well, do around the inside, and this is still remaining pretty damp. So those bits are off. Again, you're getting the idea now. Wipe down with that cloth and it comes up a treat. So again, still using that same first cloth, I can give the exhaust headers a wipe down. Right, to the back of the bike I've still got that same wipe. It's starting to dry out a little bit, but it's still going to work. Now I normally use WD-40 and I probably still will do that to finish. So if anybody has wondered about the best way to keep it nice, spray a bit of WD-40 on it, give it a wipe over, and it looks beautiful. But these wipes seem to be doing a pretty good job. I've got a little bit of dirt on the frame rail here, so we'll give all of this a good going over, and that's lifting the grease off that's on this swing arm at the top here quite nicely. This is now starting to dry out, so I'm kind of getting to the end of my first wipe, and admittedly I've been stopping using this so that I can move the camera and refilm bits and pieces. So if you're using it on your own, it would go a lot further than just the bits that I've showed you so far. Get your cloth. Yeah, that's bringing those pipes up to a nice finish. I probably still will go over those with WD-40 just to finish them off because it does look nice. Okay, so this is going to be a good test. You can see how crappy that rear wheel is, and I'm going to go for a new wipe. Just going to go straight into that, and that is lifting that off very nicely. Now obviously I think this is going to work just as well on spoked wheels, but straight away with just that quick section I've done there, you can see how quickly and easily it brings that up, looking kind of nice. And I guess I'll give it a try. Yeah, you can use it on the tyre walls as well. You can see how dirty this is getting, but it's still going to work. I always use a dedicated chain cleaner with a brush. So there you go, with the wheel off the ground, I can now just get through to those other parts that I couldn't reach before. And that's cleaning that up nicely, and while it's there, let's give the chain a going over. And you know what, that's cleaning that up pretty well. You're going to get through more wipes obviously doing the chain with this, so I'm going to carry on, get the rest of this wheel done. There's the second wipe, now more grey than it is white, but it's still damp, and actually it's still going to work at cleaning bits and pieces. So am I a convert from soap and water? Yeah, I think so. It seems to work really well. The wipes go much further than you would expect. The terry toweling cloth, that can be washed and reused as many times as you need. So an initial clean of a bike is probably going to use maybe a maximum of 6 wipes if it's really dirty to do the entire bike. But then top up cleaning sessions after that, if you just go out for a ride and it gets a little bit grubby, then just one wipe out and give it a quick wipe over the bits that need the most doing, and it keeps it looking in tip-top shape. So this kit here retails in the UK at £32.99. You get 80 wipes in here, so with my rough math that's about 40 pence a wipe, which actually isn't, I don't think, particularly expensive. If you go to pay to get your bike cleaned, you're going to spend a lot more than that. If you do it with soap and water, well, I guess that's going to be cheaper, but the fact that you haven't got to go through several stages, you've just got to wipe down and wipe off with this. I think this is quicker, and I think it is much better for getting into some of the smaller nooks and crannies. And of course, when you use this, you don't have to swamp the bike with water as well. If you're cleaning in the winter, I think this is potentially a better option. So I like these. I didn't want to turn this into an advert for these. You know, I'm not being paid by Vulcanet to promote these. This was just an option which I thought would be worth trying instead of my usual soap and water method, and I really like it. So if you want to see more of these, there's a link up in the top corner there for you to click on and go away and have a look. I'll put some links in the end credits as well to other videos on the channel. There's a subscribe button, I'd love you to click on that. If you like the video, click on that like button down there as well, because I believe that's important. And so until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.